Hello everyone. I would like to, in a sense, kinda not interpret, but perhaps communicate what a certain passage in the Tao Te Ching means. And so if you go and buy a Tao Te Ching from your local bookstore, it's on page 26. Not like perhaps the page, but on the 26th one. It's the 26th, I guess, entry of the Tao Te Ching. And so guys, this is a very profound quote which I want to share because there's a very valuable teaching here and treasure to be revealed. The entry says, gravity is the root of lightness. So I'm going to read it once and then we'll go through it. Gravity is the root of lightness. Stillness is the master of passion. The sage travels all day, but does not leave the baggage cart. When surrounded by magnificent scenery, remains calm and still. When a lord of 10,000 chariots behaves lightly in this world, lightness loses its root, passion loses its master. When it is said, gravity is the root of lightness, what that means is you as a physical sense of being, when you look at this life, the sense of gravity is suggesting that you are an observance beyond gravity. So how you can feel light is because you can, the gravity is the root of what is making you see how you can be light. So you experiencing gravity can also realize that you're the intelligence that can also feel light. You know, you can go in anti-gravity, let's say. So the quote says, gravity is the root of lightness. Now, it says stillness is the master of passion. And so I speak a lot about stillness, but see it in a way as if it's stillness. When it says stillness is the master of passion, in your moment of stillness, you are seeing the beautiful passion through your compassion of how everything is intelligently moving by life. This life force, this design of life is so intelligent, it's moving. You are seeing the passion and you're being still. You are not associating and you're being still and observing existence as it is. And it's becoming wondrous. So stillness is the master of passion. The sage travels all day. The minute you open your eyes, you are in a sense of individual consciousness. But it is then said, but does not leave the baggage cart. So recognize that existential wisdom is that you are living as an individually conscious being with a sense of ego, but do not try to change things too much. Just observe your reality, observe existence without trying to change nature and interpret it then. You do not leave the baggage cart, and when you are surrounded by magnificent scenery, as if this baggage cart, as if in your individuality, suddenly you're seeing something that's amazing, that's suggesting a greater vision, a greater truth, a God, a sense of thing, a sense of realization, whatever, you remain calm and still. You remain calm and grounded in who you are as an individual being, and you're just aware of yourself as a life form. And as you remain calm and still, that means you're not designed, you're not running into different realities and projections of conception where you are keeping yourself as a being who doesn't know. Suddenly, not knowing is not natural. This existence is made to complete knowing. When surrounded by magnificent scenery, remains calm and still. When you are aware of of this individual consciousness, and you have reached the sage's wisdom where you're not trying to change, you're not trying to touch the untouched, and you're observing it with the grace of your moment of being. When a lord of 10,000 chariots, and I believe here he's suggesting to the greatness that man is as a being, behaves lightly in this world, when you behave in this light manner, where you're aware, where you're mindful of thought before even stepping into it, lightness loses its root, passion loses its master. Your individual consciousness no longer needs an orientation as you are aware of the observer, of the experience, of the object of the observance. Do you see? So you are self-aware, you are a collective consciousness, and in behaving this way, you move beyond your ideology. You no longer are seeking lightness, which many people are, in a sense, going towards a heavenly type of feeling, and you transcend the limitation of form. So in other words, individual consciousness no longer needs to be individual, and passion loses its master. This life intelligence is no longer being done based on a definition, an intelligence, a story, an ideology, a pattern. Your consciousness moves beyond the objective based, for you always were beyond it. And so perhaps Lao Tzu, when establishing the Tao Te Ching, knew that in writing this quote he was transcendently smiling as all existence, for omniscience was the voice of every man within the voice of the cosmos. When illusion crumbles, the observance never could. Eternity is but a dream, but once you're awake, imagery was never the seed. Your orientation becomes done one of with existentially aware. So based on the immense compassionate trust you have in life, life flows your way. Every moment becomes fascinating. Literally doors open because the flows of your actions are high. You will suddenly give a talk or draw something or do something. It could be simple as watering your plant, whatever. You are doing it in such a state of consciousness where it's as if the life around you is smiling. And so you feel novelty experientially through your creativity. And that is the freedom of omniscience, unspeakably always being. For in surrender, the lost were surrendering themselves to the found. You are not here to be a character in a story, but once you recognize the storyteller, your intelligence could never be found in a noun. Your localization and your orientation will shift. Your trust will adjust you. Your memories will allocate in a way where it's harmonized. You will walk in a way where your simultaneous realities will occur gracefully, and you will receive teachings in the way where you are self-reflectively always learning from everything. You are never getting angry because you are too deeply observing it, not consciously as if thinking about it, but just your state of awareness is integrative rather than separating things and not wanting to confront more of a collective view. This world must not be hindered by grumpy men. But there is something in the joy of novelty that is always the transcendental beacon. lit beyond space and time. I hope my talk has served you. Of course, take these in a very poetic and very playful context. For imagery is not the messenger. Once you receive the message, there was no messenger. You knew what you have always known. It's time to open the door. Infinity's been knocking. Much blessings and namaste.